and welcome to yet another edition, indeed a special one, of Offside Musings, which I co-host with Emeka Onyeagwa. In today's episode, we're going to talk about recent and ongoing developments in Nigerian politics. Specifically, we're going to look at the landscape, at least as far as it's discernible to us, of the 2023 presidential election. Already, we're seeing some developments. Clearly, Bola Tinubu, former Governor Bola Tinubu of Lagos State, former Kwara State Governor Bukola Saraki, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, are stepping up their campaigns, trying to accumulate as much political steam and capital as possible. And we're going to dissect all of that and to look at what those candidates portend for the political future of Nigeria. And part of the argument, if one might spill what it is, is that the emergence of these characters as the leading, at least the visible candidates for presidency in Nigeria, portends a very negative future for Nigeria politically. None of these three candidates who are zigzagging through the country represents in the Nigerian imagination any form of vision for political development or for economic advancement of the country in the least. I would actually say that Tinubu, Saraki, and Atiku, as well as some of the other characters who have indicated their interest in running for the 2023 presidential elections, represent something of the terrible, haunting past that Nigerians ought to want to escape from. And one of the things we're going to suggest is that the recent Anambra State election, governorship election, in which Charles Chukwuma Soludo emerged as a clear winner, offers us perhaps a few tantalizing hints of what is possible if the progressive visionary forces in Nigeria somehow manage to articulate themselves into a political force to back a more forward-looking candidate, perhaps a dark horse, somebody who is not as well known, but somebody who can inspire Nigerians with a vision of a different kind of country. I've always said that Nigeria is a country with tremendous promise, and that promise has been aborted in the past, it's been demolished in some ways, but there is some vestige of the promise that remains. So my expectation, my hope, is that the Nigerians who are enlightened, Nigerians who want a different and better country, are going to aggregate in a political movement, not necessarily a political party, but a political movement that would give fillip and fuel to a candidate who will move the country in a different direction and in a more desirable direction. So that's one leg of the issue. The other part of the problem of Nigeria that is often not talked about is the issue of constitutional restructuring of the country, the constitutional and political restructuring of the country. Nigeria clearly is askew the way that it is currently structured. You find a center that has absolutely too much power, which is why we see this aggressive drive by lots and lots of political actors, especially criminal ones, who want to congregate around the center because that's the location, if you like, of political power. So what we expect, at least what we're going to propose, is that in addition to having a conversation about what kind of candidate do we want as Nigerians to become president in 2023, that we're also going to talk about what kind of country do we want to see, what kind of political and constitutional arrangements are likely to facilitate the transformation of Nigeria into the kind of polity that would serve the interests, the dreams, the hopes of this collectivity that we call Nigeria. But I think that clearly that if we follow the template in Anambra State, where for the first time in the history of that state, at any rate, the campaigns culminated in a political debate, featuring the three major political parties, the APGA candidate, who ultimately became the winner, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, the PDP candidate, Val Ozigbo, and the APC candidate, Andy Oba. At that debate, there was a kind of winnowing that took place. There was a kind of crystallization before the people of Anambra State, and indeed Nigerians who watched that debate, that there were only, in the end, two credible, legitimate candidates, and that was Ozigbo and Soludo. That Andy Oba was something of an interloper, was something of a wannabe, and the kind of message that the people of Anambra State subsequently sent in making Andy come a distant third in the elections, I think can be replicated on the national scene if the progressive forces in the country, the enlightened forces in Nigeria would have the discipline to come together across ethnic and religious and class lines to crystallize into a political momentum that will sweep away these Neanderthals who have wrecked Nigeria and put Nigeria in the shape it is, and who therefore are able to even talk about themselves, propose themselves as president in a country that they have absolutely no credentials to govern. So we're looking forward to a great conversation today. And we thank you for joining us, and we think that you're going to find much that is going to be stimulating and thought-provoking, and perhaps that something that will shift the kind of conversations that we usually have in Nigeria, a conversation that all too often revolves around those that I call mediocrities and non-entities, who want to reduce Nigeria to the level of their grasping of their grasping sensibility and just their sheer primitive capacity for accumulation of private private wealth. So thank you very much and for joining us in today's edition of Offside Musings.